And welcome back to game number 2 of the Wild Witch Doctors, also known as SNA plus 4 in game. And the house is down. Wild Witch Doctors taking game 1 with a really nice global ultimate strat with the Zeus, the Spectre that got really just too huge and too much to deal with for THD in the late game. Yeah, and of course an ancient apparition was a big part of that as well. So THD now looking to make something happen in its game number 2, picking up the Nyx Assassin, really solid hero. Stick him in the offlane, let him get a couple of levels, and then he can start rotating around. Let's see what they want to use with that. I mean, you can pick up a Life Stealer to basically infest inside of him, do these vendetta ganks and make them just all the more deadly. Ancient Apparition has been banned out. It's another hero that works really good and really well with the Nyx Assassin, just being able to scout someone out, hit the AA ultimate, and then follow it up with the Nyx Assassin burst damage. So, yeah, but Ancient Apparition banned out, of course, so he's not gonna be able to join us in this game. Neither is the Nature's Prophet, the Amber Spirit, or the Invoker. But we're gonna see Doom this time around, picked up by the Wild Witch Doctors. So Doom basically able to counter any one hero with the ultimate. Just click that on someone and that person is basically useless in the game. There's some exceptions though. If you've got a farm carry that just right clicks anyway, then it's not gonna help you too much, but we'll see what THD is gonna pick up. Ways to counter Doom, of course, is just running duo or tri-core lineups, but for now, THD not gonna revealing any of that, apart from Nyx Assassin, of course. Gonna pick up support Venomancer. Don't get me wrong, Venomancer can be run as a core, but in this case, probably not. Generally not seeing that too much because the hero is generally way too squishy no matter how many items you get on him to be able to sustain in these fights. He usually just wants to go in, drop his Poison Nova and then just die, really. He survives great, but if he doesn't, as long as he got his spells off, he'll have made his contribution to the team fight, and it's gonna have to be enough. So, but it's still really early in the draft. No strategies shaped up just yet, and we see the Visage picked up. Really solid support hero, as we also saw it on in the last game on the same team as well, so they pick it up again. Whitebeard played a solid game, nothing too outstanding, I would say. Not the biggest plays I've ever seen in the Visage, but really solid, and he's been definitely a factor. The Familiars did do some work. No one could say otherwise. But generally Visage is a hero that's really good throughout all stages of the game, and I think that's the reason that he's picked up consistently throughout all levels of competitive play. I mean, just having the ability to slow someone and then use a really nice long-range artillery nuke that can't really be disjointed by anything in the form of the Soul Assumption.
10 seconds
just really something really good, really good qualities in a support hero. And once he gets points up into the Gravekeeper's Cloak, he's decently tanky as well. And then of course everything that the Familiars bring to the table later on can't be discounted. You do need the micro skills to pull that off really well, but if you have that, it's a really good pickup. Morphling now, if he gets doomed, he's pretty much done for, unless he morphed strength a lot before that. So, not quite sure whether THD thought this through, but we'll see. Maybe they'll pick up a Dazzle as a secondary support on Abaddon, something that can keep the Morphling alive even through the Doom, just be able to heal him up. Provide that sustain to any hero that is afflicted by the Doom, really. So yeah, and both Dazzle and Abaddon still available. So we'll see whether THG will want to pick one of these up. Drow Ranger now is gonna be the choice from SNA, and that's a real nice pickup, and I'll tell you why. Because the third skill from the Drow Ranger, the Precision Aura. Once she casts this, it will affect the familiars from the Visage. So they are gonna hit really hard depending on how much agility Drow Ranger happens to have at that moment, even if they burnt off all the damage charges. So that just makes the threat of the familiars much more devastating.
5 seconds.
Enchantress.
And sometimes you just really don't think that the familiars are gonna do all too much damage, especially if they just burn off all the charges on one hero and then just gonna move on, and then they just do 10 damage per attack. But with a Drow Ranger on the field being able to pop that Precision Aura, that's not gonna be the case. Enchantress though, gonna be the secondary support from THD, and really nice pickup simply because if she needs to, she can transition into a semi-carry and dish out quite damage with the impetus if her positioning is great. There's gonna be the Wisp for the Wild Witch Doctors. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see how that turns out.
10 seconds to go.
Thousands Down, of course, already has their offlane hero with the Nyx Assassin, one would imagine. So we're probably not going to see a Timbersaw picked up to counter the Wisp a little bit.
Dire's banned.
But yeah, Nyx Assassin does have the necessary burst damage to basically insta-gip an IO even later on in the game. So that's going to be something that the Wild Witch Doctors will have to look out for.
10 seconds to go.
Apart from that though, Morphling of course can one-shot the Wisp if he goes for a shotgun build with the Ethereal Blade. Enchantress will be able to pick him up rather quickly later on, but yeah, I think SNA will be able to make it count with the Wisp if
Radiant's pick.
if IO isn't being caught out of position too much. So, really interested to see how this works out. I'm not entirely sure whether it will, but it definitely has the potential to do just what they needed to do. Just we'll see whether they want to pair it up with the Doom, whether the Doom will be the hard carry, maybe the offlane or the jungler.
Dire's pick.
Or whether they'll just use the Drow Ranger on a hard farming role, and with the Shadow Shaman, I would imagine that would be the case.
Radiant's pick.
So, try it in with the Visage, the Wisp, and the Drow, probably in the safe lane, as you don't really want to put up the Wisp. And an aggressive try lane, it's gonna be a Shadow Shaman mid, IX Mike on the Doom in the offlane. So, I think that's what's gonna happen. Alchemist is gonna be the last pickup from THD, so yeah, makes the lanes a little bit interesting though, but they're probably gonna go defensively try lane the Morphling. Actually, I'm not sure, they can do a lot of things. THD is on the Venomancer, so he'll definitely be supporting another core. New Folk is gonna farm the Morphling. Now, we'll see whether he wants to do that from the mid position or the safe lane.
5 seconds.
The last game is anything to go by, he will be the safe lane farmer, and also Lucio will take the Alchemist to the middle lane. And I don't have a cursor, that is not good. I'll do my best to do just fine anyway. So yeah, probably gonna be the Alchemist mid, and up against a Shadow Shaman should do okay if he skills the Azure Spray and gets a concoction off or two. Because Shadow Shaman not exactly the tankiest hero. So yeah, let's run through our lineups. IX Mike, as I mentioned, on the Doombringer. And might actually be a dual lane here in bottom. That's a really nice decision actually. With SNA supporting him, keeping them alive. Making him just that much better when he's tethered up. So, and SNA of course gonna be on the Wisp. Ash, so hard without a cursor, you don't know where it is. So Ash gonna take the Shadow Shaman to the middle lane, which leaves Whitebeard supporting the Drow Ranger played by KVH in the top safe lane, and there's the cursor back. So thank you, Volvo. No need to fix anything else. So, yeah, On the other side of the river, THD as mentioned on the
30
Venomancer,
seconds to
Vestius
showtime.
gonna be in the jungle, on the Enchantress, Neofolk on the carry Morphling in this bottom lane. That leaves also Lucio, as I thought, on the mid Alchemist. And Zoe looking to pick up his levels in the off lane. So, against a Draw Ranger, as well as a Visage, Zoe has to be careful.
And
They
away
can
we
dish
go.
out quite some damage. And they have some two slows between them, the Whitebeard of course with the Grave Chill, and Draw Ranger if she wants to put up a level into her Frost Arrows, that's a slow as well. It's not really huge at level 1, but can add just that little bit of extra that they need to pick off the Nyx Assassin. He will rely on stuns and his spiked carapace to keep him alive, and he should do okay if he's playing it right. So yeah. His duo offlane. Real nice, because they recognize that the Enchantress won't be there all the time, so they should do alright, but the Venomancer, really annoying hero to play up against in the laning phase. As we see, the Doombringer just devouring creeps from the Enchantress. Picked up a Satyr. And he's got that health regen aura, which will help him out tremendously, him and the Wisp too, so really nice creep picked up for him. But yeah, up against the Venomancer, they really need something like a health regen, because they're constantly gonna have that poison sting on them, and as soon as Venomancer hits level 2 and puts a point into the wards, he's gonna be able to apply that through the wards as well. Probably not gonna do that too much, as level 1 wards are really squishy. So, yeah. Probably not gonna see a kill too early in this lane, so... Unless Venomancer skills the Gale and they want to go on him, but Morphling doesn't have the biggest amount of damage that early. So they probably need the Enchantress to rotate around with a nice creep to follow the Gale up with a net. From the Darktroll Summoner that she picked up, or maybe a Centaur if she finds it. Middle lane matchup, yeah. Alchemist doing fine, even though he's melee, he can throw out, yeah, he's got his bottle already, so he can bottle crawl and throw out the acid spray and concoction whenever he wants to, and Shadow Shaman doesn't have the biggest range, so he's gonna have to stand in that. Whitebeard though, putting some pressure on the Nyx Assassin, but a Spike Carapace will mean that he'll just stay alive, and he actually got himself a nice little creep wave that loses the range creep to the camp, but he'll be able to pick up level 3 from this one. Middle lane, Shadow Shaman putting some pressure up, but he's being caught out as the Enchantress rotated all the way around. The net will catch him out, and now he has nowhere to go. Double damage on the Alchemist will make that quick and painful. Painful for the Shadow Shaman.
So much for diplomacy.
Painless for the Alchemist and the Enchantress, of course. THD picks up first blood in this game once again.
I say no.
Bottom lane working okay, I suppose. Doom sitting at 9 CS with the Morphling only at 12, so they're doing quite well. Wisp level 2 as well as Doom, so Doom of course not gonna get the biggest levels, but with his Devour, he'll be able to keep up with the CS in general. And the Wisp, of course, the big winner of this lane, as he will get some XP from that. It doesn't have to rely on the pulse. Which of course leaves Whitebeard to get some more levels from that.
Not this time.
So as soon as level 6, they're gonna look to put up some pressure, just teleport in, Doom up the Nyx Assassin, for instance, or the Alchemist. Prime target, he actually took a lot of damage from something here.
Dyer's mid tower could use
Not
a
quite sure
little
how that
help.
works. There's a courier just hanging around there. He's actually taking damage from the range creep, so, but they will be able to micro him away.
Dyer's mid tower won't last much longer.
See an engagement down here. Mike actually caught by the Gale. SNA Doom what he can to save him, but there's just too much right click. 2 investors, the summoner, morphling, and the venomonster as well. So very well played there. A lot of trees gone, I don't know. Yeah. Probably the wisp tethering to Ix Mike to clear down these trees. And that was supposed to help them against exactly these kind of ganks, so not quite sure if they used the smoke there or something. Didn't see them coming, but they're gonna go again. The Gale is ready, but he's not gonna shoot it out. So Ix Mike's already retreating. So now that the wards are in play, one thing you have to keep in mind though is that Ix Mike's CS is gonna be a little bit inflated if THD decides to throw these wards out constantly, because they count as last hits, but they're obviously worth maybe around 15 gold, so it's not a whole lot. Sorry though, sitting level 5, almost level 6. Getting 2 more creeps of experience here, so he's doing fine for himself. Even picked up a couple of last hits here and there. Now Osh leveling the Ether Shock to just try and counter that harassment that Ursa Lucio is putting out with the acid spray constantly, basically. But we see THD as well as Vestius smoked out. She's got a centaur, or he's got a centaur, the enchantress. She, the enchantress, so, but player. You know what I mean. Centaur Conqueror is gonna be part of the smoke gang, and they're gonna look for Whitebeard. Zoe starting off. If he gets the impale, yeah, that's gonna be that Whitebeard. Gale to follow up just to make sure that he can't run away. A couple of right clicks, center stomp, not even needed, so another kill. Going the way of THD, and just like last game, doing very well early game, and now Jar Ranger might be in trouble. There's a slow from the enchant, Nyx Assassin looping around. He doesn't have enough mana for a stun, but the centaur is there. Ursa Lucio also rotating around now, throwing the stun on Ash, who just teleported into his death. Acid Spray is going to be committed as well. And now THD will be able to spam a couple of wards. And they will be able to bring down this tower with this nice rotation coming out from the Alchemist.
Can't do nothing about dire structures right now.
Picking up Ash, who just went in there, but the channel was actually, stun was actually channeled nicely. Just waiting for him basically, and they're not done yet. The wards are all down, towers at half health. The glyph just delayed that a little bit. KBH on the Drow Ranger back into the play. But THD sitting in the sidelines here. If the Drow Ranger pushes out too far, she will get hit by a Gale. The Alchemist though rotated out. Now so does Zoe. Shifting to the middle lane instead. The Vendetta is up, so Vendetta, stun, concoction follow-up, that's gonna be another dead Shadow Shaman. And yeah, just like we saw in last game, Shadow Shaman has a big problem, but yeah, see an engagement here in the top lane, Drow Ranger doing some work, but she is in trouble with the Enchantress army and the Alchemist rotating up there again. She will take the Venomonster, but she will pay herself in exchange, so it's not gonna be worth it. But yeah, that's the problem that you run into, just like we saw last game. If you pick a Shadow Shaman, you're gonna know that he's going to get ganked. I mean, he can hex one target, but it's not a particularly long hex at level 1, 1.25 seconds, usually not gonna buy you the time that you need. If you have to commit the wards, they're usually gonna get farmed and not gonna save you unless you ward trap someone. Ether Shock is nice, but that's just 1 point of burst damage. And you have nothing really to follow it up yourself. And the shackles obviously require you to stay in place yourself while locking someone down, so... But now they're gonna use the wards again to take down this tier 1 tower. Newfolk might be in trouble. The Ether Shock will do some decent damage, but he'll be able to wave form away. So basically my point is Shadow Shaman doesn't have any escape mechanisms, and if you manage to catch him, he is squishy enough that he will die quite rapidly, as we just saw early end of the middle lane. Same goes really for the Drow Ranger. She's a hero that is pretty much the definition of a glass cannon if you want to build that way, and she usually will. If you get close to her by design, she will lose a lot of her effectiveness, because that ultimate will be disabled. She won't have just as much agility to play with. And yeah, heroes like Nyx Assassin of course counter her pretty well. Nyx Assassin is a hero that wants to get close to you. He sneaks up on you under his Vendetta, does some burst damage, and the Draw Ranger is on top of her game, that she will realize when the marksmanship buff will stop, because you will lose your damage, so at that point she'll be able to pop some dust, or just know that the next assassin is quite close to you, and just start juking around as best you can to evade the stun. But let's see whether she'll manage to do that. Vestius got himself another Conqueror. Got about another minute on him. Looking for another opportunity to find Ash in this middle lane, but he's playing very defensively after the last time he's been picked up.
Best do something about that
Region Rune picked up for Lucio, so doesn't have the highest mana pool, so being able to have that bottle is really nice. But his spells aren't exactly spammable, apart from Concoction, which is a fairly low cooldown. But Monster Wards, doing some damage to his tower, but ultimately gonna be farm for the Draw Ranger. Only picks up one of those though. But yeah, THD. Wanting to pressure two lanes at once, they can definitely do that. I mean, what do? You can't go onto the Enchantress, because she's got a Centaur, and he's also got Ursa Lucio here with the Concoction available to disrupt any initiation attempts in that lane. And of course in his bottom lane you have the Venomounts, you don't want to go on him. I mean, he doesn't have his ultimate yet, but he still has the Gale to slow you down, so you can't get close. Nah, it's not gonna work from the familiars. Nice try though anyway. And Neofork, who now is starting to do some damage. He's going an ultimate op straight for Lincolns maybe? One would imagine. Oh yeah, KVH not getting a whole lot. She's sitting at 50 CS, but Morphling is quite well ahead of her. He's doing what he can. Middle lane now gonna be the target. This tower is at about half health. Wild Wing Ripper gonna do some damage, helping out with the push and the armor that they give them, but there's no creeps in the area now. The Wild Wing will go down. Concoction thrown out, acid sprays on the ground. It just makes it so hard for the Witch Doctors to engage into it.
The Dire went and fortified.
Glyph is gonna be used, so
Radiant's top tower is hurting.
Shadow Shaman coming in from the side. He has his arcane boots, but no blink dagger just yet.
Radiant's top tower is
if THD chooses, they can just slow siege, spam the ward, spam the acid spray.
Dire's mid
whittle that tower down.
Technical difficulties. Radiant's
That's exactly what they're gonna do, and SNA can't really engage them.
Seems the Dire's
Gust gonna hit on the Alchemist, but he's already got his ultimate up, so he's basically impossible to kill at this stage of the game. That insane health regen that he gets. Uh-oh, Ash might be caught out there. Vestius finds him. Not gonna get the slow off though, as he has a haste rune, so actually be just fine. But he will get stunned out. Wisp relocate coming in to counter initiate, but Dark Ranger got hit by the Gale. She's just so slow, and the Nyx Assassin right there misses the stun somehow. Gush can come out, Wards committed, Vestius will be shackled up and going down. Nyx Assassin now caught. He will try to get out, but he's doomed up, so
2 down.
He's not gonna go anywhere. Now Urso, Lucio, the Alchemist, gonna be the last one on the front lines, taking a lot of damage. Concoction is charging and he will try to deny himself. And he actually gonna get it, so yeah. They actually pick up the Drow range as well as the Visage, with the Morphling coming in, so salvage that trade a little bit, but I still give the advantage to SNA right there. Let's take a look at the gold graph here. THD is still ahead in gold with about 5,000 in their favor, as well as the experience sitting about 3,000, so THD salvaged that quite nicely. And SNA, or the Wild Witch Doctors, not getting as much of an advantage from that fight as they would have liked. And yeah, THD now resetting. The Enchantress just defending down here while the rest of the heroes committing on the top lane. Alchemist has his mechanism, so he'll be able to help out his team. And yeah, Morphling going for Perseverance next. Yeah,
Radiant's mid tower.
Enchantress, she's Vestis is on defense duty right now and using the Satyr to push down the wave of this bottom lane. Already reached the tier 2. Now she's gonna be rejoining the top.
Dire's top tower.
Also got a buckler and a headdress. The Alchemist already has a mechanism, so a little bit of miscommunication there, I feel.
Top tower's getting beat down.
Might sell the buckler and turn the headdress into a pipe of insight at some point.
Dire's top tower's gone.
There's not terribly much magic damage on SNA though, so not quite sure how much that would help them. It's basically just Scorched Earth from the Doom. That isn't physical actually. No, it's magical. And yeah, the Wisp Orbs, but that's about it. Meantime though, SNA trading away the tower and sneaked in a Roche with the wards committed. She didn't catch that entirely, but everyone knows what's gonna happen. But
technical difficulties.
Yeah, THD out of position, not able to get there in time. Zoe, he's not gonna fool anyone with that Vendetta right under the tower. But yeah, just gonna do that the same thing again. Just gonna slow siege, throw out the Essence Spray, keep spamming the Venomancer wards. Familiar's not gonna make it too easy, but Alchemist in front lines, he will be able to tank it up with his ultimate up and running as well. So now there's the initiation blink hacks, but no follow-up. There's a gust on 3. So, and Doom is gonna be on the next assassin. He will take the fall. Nice poison over though. Gonna hit it on a lot of people. Wisp Orbs doing good damage, but it's not gonna be enough. Next assassin also buys back. Vestis will go down to the right clicks of the Drow Ranger. Soul Assumption doing good damage on THD. Stick charges will help him out, but there's a blink shackle. Immediately cancelled by the next assassin who bought back, so that's definitely worth it. Waffling now doing what he can. He's got away from him. But Enchantress and the Alchemist will die. Alchemist also buys back. IX Mike, overextension, he will die. Shadow Shaman as well as the Wisp died as well in the backlines of that fight. So a lot of action breaking out with the Wild Witch Doctors wanting to defend their tower, but buybacks will actually benefit THD as they will get this tower at the end of it. Glyph is gonna delay it a little bit, but it's ultimately not gonna be enough. But the Wild Witch Doctors with that defense, they turn around the experience graph a little bit. It's actually right just above the 0 line now with these last two pickups. Last couple of pickups from THD after the buybacks. But the gold still squarely in favor of THD, so they're looking fine for this game.
Untraceable venom.
Now probably just gonna slow down a little bit. Venomancer got himself a gem, as well as a medallion to help out. Of course he doesn't need a mechanism, as the Enchantress almost had one, but the Alchemist of course has his finished. Venomancer could go for an Aghanims or Veil, but no, he's actually working towards it. Actually has to pick up the gem. So yeah, we'll see when he will finish that. Obviously he's not gonna have the best of farm. Next assassin picked off in the top lane. Didn't even notice that. Overstayed is welcome there with almost the entire team of the Wild Witch Doctors up here. Serpent Waltz committed. Will be able to take down this tower quite handily, but Alchemist has other plans. Tries to get them down as much as he can. But it's not gonna be enough. Tower will fall, not the most important tower, and they do get all the wards from it. Alchemist taking most of the last hits there, and at one point in the Grievous Greed now, finally, yep. He will start getting out of control. Alchemist is one of those heroes that at any point in the game, if you leave him alone to farm, just as soon as he gets Grievous Greed up, he can transition into a very tanky carry that's really hard to deal with later on. Morphling doing all of that, he finished up his Lincoln Sphere. Didn't die in that last fight, so definitely useful. Got 3 kills and 2 assists to his name. So he's sitting on decent farms. Actually, take a look at the net worth. He's actually sitting on top of the net worth, so... Him and Alchemist leading the board both. And yeah, Drow Ranger gone for a Mask of Madness build. Which means whenever she pops that and gets caught out by a Nyx Assassin or something, she will melt, sitting at only just under 900 health points, so... She'll have to be on, or KVH has to be on point with his positioning in this game. The Wisp will probably be able to help him out if he decides to hook up with him. Five-man spell coming out now. They realize that they need to make something happen. So maybe shut down the Morphling a little bit. Stop the Alchemist. Stands right now. I'm not gonna find anyone. THD recognizing no one's on the map. Something's going on, but Ursa Lucio actually running into the hacks. He'll be blown up without the ultimate up. That's an easy pick. Relocate actually used as well to get the Drow Ranger into the fight. It's actually not going to kill himself, so why they're not, but that means this tower's going to go down. THD not in any position to secure that. But they have the water. They could have committed that on the tier 2 if they wanted to. With the Alchemist down, why the hell not? A little bit of a weird decision to back off there in my opinion. Shadow Shaman once again going for the BKB. He'll have it quite soon. I got the Yoga Club with 1300 gold. Needs another 1500 or so to finish it up, so maybe that's why they just don't feel comfortable committing just yet. No BKB on him. But there's a Blink Dagger on the Drow Ranger, so that'll allow her to get into a good position when the fight starts. So as long as Nyx Assassin doesn't catch her out in the backlines before that happens, she'll be just fine. The Doom going tanky. He's got an Ogre Club of his own, looking for another BKB, one would think, and then he'll be able to be that frontline tanky guy. Especially if the Wisp decides to tether to him instead of the Drow Ranger, but that's the beauty of the Wisp pickup in this situation, I think. He can decide, alright, do we want to overcharge the Drow Ranger in the backlines so she can dish out even more damage than she can anyway, with the added attack speed from the overcharge, or do I want to hook up to the Doom and make him just more tanky? But yeah, see both teams all on this bottom lane.
The Radiant's courier
10-man Dota paid from bottom mics. Mike the courier gets picked off. That's not what you want to have happen. THD playing this very safe, but he's finding an opening. Stun onto Ash. SNA doing what he can to keep him alive, and he's actually managing to delay that for a while. Now KVH going in, goes to town, blowing up the Venomata. Now X-Mike joining the fray. Doom up on the Morphling, so he's not doing anything in this fight, but he should be able to get away if he runs now. Nyx Assassin now dying to right clicks. X-Mike though taking a lot of damage too. Snar. SNA still in the fight though, able to keep him alive. Morphling will take the fall as well. Not opting to run away. And Drow Ranger takes a dominating streak from him as well, so that's another 500 gold. Maltfield now up, and another 1300 gold, so KVH coming into this game, catching up to the Morphling now, only 300 gold behind him. Really nice fight for THD there. I mean for Wild Witch Doctors, what I'm talking about. And yeah, that's all the gold advantage from THD just evaporated in these last couple of minutes. It's because SNA is on top of the game with their positioning. Both SNA on the Wisp as well as KVH on the Drow Ranger weren't focused at all in these fights. I mean, whoever they went on, the Wisp tethered to. And you couldn't save the Shadow Shaman, of course, because Shadow Shaman is still really, really squishy, but the Doom with his help was able to survive. Was able to get that Scorched Earth damage going, was able to get the right clicks going. The Doom obviously used on a Morphling, so he couldn't was a non-factor in this fight for the most part. But yeah. THD, they got the Shadow Shaman, but it's definitely a good pickup. Don't want him, his control in the fights either. But they, after that, they need to try and catch up to the Wisp, as well as the Draw Ranger. They need to find them, they need to take them out quickly. And now Roshan, not gonna be up, but both teams recognizing that it won't be long until that's the fact. And now they're gonna engage. Visage Bursts, the gas and the wards also committed. And the Nyx Assassin just being blown up. IX Mark is having fun. Dooms up the Morphling once again. Lucio actually stunning himself. It seems like Shackles will get him down. Wisp relocate, get THD, 3-man Nova, but with nothing to follow it up.
I thought they warned you
Not gonna be enough.
Rangers.
Vestius just ran for his life there. Nothing he could have done to slow that down. Really nice initiation once again from SNA. Getting down the Nyx Assassin, focusing them one by one.
There goes Radiant's bottom
THD
tower.
just caught on the back foot there. They lose 4 for nothing, and they even lose the tier 2 bottom as well. And now, SNA in a perfect position to get Roshan. I mean, they don't have the wards, but at this point, KVH is just having so much fun with his Mjolnir finish there. He will be able to right-click Roshan down quite quickly as well, especially with the medallion, the minus armor coming from the Visage.
Thanks to the dire.
He's working on his Aghanim Scepter, got the Ogre Club as well as the point booster, so he needs another 1,700 gold, give or take, to finish that up. Ike's Mike finished his BKB, so that was also a big part of this fight. There's just nothing a THD could do to him. Morphling doesn't have damage, he wants survivability, and apart from the Lincoln Sphere, he hasn't picked up anything else. Sitting at 3,500 gold, and he needs to spend some of that if he wants to have any impact in the next fight. But yeah, Link's here obviously to counter the Doom, but the Doom is a hero that also has a level death, which will trigger that Lincoln Sphere. And IX Mike, definitely a player that is experienced enough to recognize that you have to pop the Lincolns first. So, not gonna do much on Neofork in the next team fights either. So, he needs to... You can either build more survivability and just try to wait out the Doom and then come back into the fight. But at that point, where's your damage? You rely on the Morphling to do some damage, but right now he's hitting for 150 apiece, and compare that to the Drow Ranger, which is hitting for over 200 with that insane attack speed coming out from the Mask of Madness. Yeah. No damage from the Morphling. Alchemist, not there yet either. He's one utility, he's one mobility. Mobility and utility with the mechanism and the blink dagger up on him, so he's hitting decently fast with the ultimate ready, but he's not doing too much damage. Yeah, Venomancer, Poison Nova and Gale is nice, but didn't get it off at a decent time in this last fight. He basically just got it up at the end when he was trying to run away anyway. The Assassin provides a decent amount of control and initiation, but initiation, the best initiation in the world, can't help you if you don't have any damage follow-up. Chandra's basically is still sitting on the Headdress and the Buckler, and now also looking for an Aghanims. Feel if she wouldn't have had bought those two items and went for something else, something like maybe an Aghanims Rush even, just to be able to dish out that damage with the impetus. As it stands now, Wild Witch Doctors now, they're the ones
Mid-tower's coming apart.
with the reins in their hands. They can push the tower really quickly with KVH.
Radiant's mid-tower ain't doing so
He has the
good.
Aegis, so he's fearless right now.
Radiant's mid-tower's getting back.
Now what's committed? This tier 3 is melting so fast, so Glyph is gonna delay that a little bit, but Nyx Assassin, Zoya has to get the perfect initiation. That's about as perfect as you can get. 3-man stun, and IX Mike will fall. the last couple of right clicks, Venomon's of course dies
Dire's top
to the barrage of arrows coming from the Drow Ranger. Nix's Assassin of course did the same thing.
Radiant's
If you run into the walls, Whitebeard will die though. KVH taking a lot of damage though, but
I'm back before the arrow
Alchemist
fire
slowed
has
up by
fallen.
something. They take the Aegis as well. But the walls are still up and the racks are going down, so it's nothing THD could have done about that. So salvaged it as much as they could, but I don't think it was enough. Gold now really far down on the graph, while the Witch Doctor is now sitting about 8,000 gold lead. Experience well in the Fae was well just about the 14,000 mark.
Spell of 3 selves.
And KVH needs to spend his gold, man. Yeah, God. Just one shot bought a BKB. Now Ike's Mike with the Vladimir's offering just to give him an extra bit of sustainability in these fights. I mean, he did get picked off. I think the SNA didn't have the tether ready at that point to help him out. But yeah. It's one Rex down, and what's to stop SNA from just doing that again? Morphling went for the shotgun, he's got the ethereal blade, so he's got to make something happen. Just comes down to that. Neofolk has to make that ethereal blade count for something. He has to go in, blow up the Drow Ranger, or blow up the Wisp at the very least. Maybe both if he can make it. Basically, you shot
6 in a row.
waveform in. Oh, Venomonster picked up again. Solo kill by Ike's Mike. Not committed to Doom either, so... Actually, Drow Ranger was in the area to pick him off, so yeah. Basically need a perfect initiation from the next assassin, another 3-man stun or something more. And then the Morphling to just go in and blow up the Drow Ranger immediately. But how do you do that if she has a BKB? Right?
Dire's top tower's getting beat down. Radiant lost one of them.
Look at these buildings melt.
Radiant's bottom rags is getting.
The Mask of Madness charged up.
Radiant's bottom rags. It's done.
Didn't even do a half damage to this tower on top. Now the relocate coming in. Nyx Assassin is
Somebody's
down.
on a roll.
And the Alchemist, Ursalucio, barely able to teleport out. Shadow Shaman dies somewhere to something, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Venomonster dies again to Whitebeard with a Soul Assumption picking him off. Poison Nova is out, but once again, if you have no follow-up to that, yeah, gonna call it.
That's
Nothing they can do right now. Pick up the Wisp with the shotgun, but the Familiars and doing short work avenging the Master.
Dire's done it again.
But GG was called already. The Wild Witch Doctors also take game number 2 against THD. Which will put them at 6-6 in the standings, and THD now 5-7. If my information is correct. So, really nice games. Enjoyed casting it, but I just came from a PlanetSide 2 event earlier, so a little bit more tired than it probably should be. So, I think I will go to bed now. Thanks for listening. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter, on twitter.com/dragondropDOTA, or follow me on Twitch with the same name. So, yeah, just keep an eye out for my other casts. So, once again, thank you for watching. This is Dragondrop, signing off.